Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, September 1st. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. A heat advisory has been extended through Tuesday for almost all of South Central Texas, according to the National Weather Service. In San Antonio today, you can expect intermittent clouds and a high of 102. Expect peak heat index values of 108 and 114 and a possible isolated storm tonight. Officials plan to release some body-worn camera video today that shows two San Antonio police officers stopping a black jogger they suspected, wrongfully it turned out, was involved in a nearby domestic violence assault. Are you planning a trip this holiday weekend? Gasoline prices have likely peaked and should begin to fall as demand wanes with the end of the peak summer driving season, according to fuel price tracking website GasBuddy. And now let's move on to the top stories for the day. Paul Rusesabagina, whose story of heroism during the 1994 Rwandan genocide was made into the 2004 film Hotel Rwanda, and who has lived off and on in San Antonio for over a decade, was arrested Monday by Rwandan authorities on charges of terrorism. His family and supporters say they have been unable to contact him and that they fear for his safety. He had been in Dubai and was flying to Europe or back to the US when he was arrested, his daughter Anis Kanimba said, but the family has no idea how or by whom. For more on the Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient and his case, read Richard A. Marini's story at the link in the episode's description. For months, empty lobbies and a deserted riverwalk left no doubt that the COVID-19 pandemic was bad for the hotel business. A new report makes clear just how bad, though. Texas hotels lost nearly two-thirds of their revenue during the second quarter of 2020. The report shows that no Texas metro area was immune. San Antonio hotels on average filled just 32% of their rooms during the 3 months ending in June 30th. Randy Diamond explores how that compares to other large metro areas in Texas. San Antonio hotel revenue also plunged to $97.1 million during the second quarter, down 74.1% from the same period a year ago. Randy Diamond explores how the cost goes way beyond hotels' bottom lines. As San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg pushes for voter approval in November of a sales tax to fund the city's post-pandemic economic recovery, the city's first effort to help those who lost their jobs is getting off the ground. Residents hit hard by the pandemic can now apply for a $75 million job training program approved by the City Council earlier this year. The idea is that those who lost their jobs working at hotels, restaurants, and retail stores can obtain skills to help them find work in higher-paying fields. Joshua Fechter breaks down how the money will be spent and which areas of town city officials are prioritizing. Rudy Rodriguez's San Antonio educational firm, TexasTejano.com, has produced books, curriculum, poster contests, and reenactments, along with exhibits and film screenings. For this Tejano Heritage Month, Elena Ayala asked Rodriguez to tell her about the area known as La Medina, a ranching community just south of downtown San Antonio. Read more about the founding families of San Antonio and Rodriguez's multiple great-uncle Jose Policarpio Poli Rodriguez at the link in the episode's description. To keep our readers up to date on the path of COVID-19, the Express News has built a dashboard of interactive graphics showing the spread of the virus in the San Antonio area, in Texas as a whole, and across the United States. We've also created an interactive map of San Antonio for COVID-19 testing sites that don't require a doctor's referral. You can find a link to the dashboard and the interactive map in this episode's description. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside your Express News subscription. The San Antonio Metropolitan Health District reported 40 new cases of COVID-19 on Monday, significantly down from the 110 new cases it confirmed on Sunday. 7 more deaths were reported, bringing the total in Bexar County to 809. The coronavirus is continuing to affect a younger population, with recent data suggesting more teenagers are testing positive for the disease. At the same time, cases among Hispanics of all ages have increased. A Kirby firefighter was arrested after police say he punched a coworker in the face, sending him to the hospital according to an arrest affidavit. A fast food employee in San Antonio has been fired after allegedly spitting in a police officer's food. OpenTable tracked COVID-19's impact on San Antonio dining. You can check out their findings at the link in the episode's description. More than 50 people gathered Monday to mourn a young couple who were killed in a drive-by shooting that also injured 2 others on the east side less than 24 hours earlier. The new world of flying has created an atmosphere filled with more tension than ever before. Randy Diamond explains in his latest edition of The Wary Traveler. A 29-year-old San Antonio man is facing a murder charge in the death of a woman whose body was found after their children texted their grandmother for help, according to an arrest affidavit. Nearly 6 months after it was closed to the public because of COVID-19, the Alamo's Mission-era church will reopen Thursday, using a timed ticket system to limit occupancy. The Texas Democratic Party's lawyer argued before a federal appeals court that the state is unlawfully discriminating against the majority of the voting age population by requiring only those under the age of 65 to have an excuse to receive a mail-in ballot. Suzanne Scott, the longtime general manager of the San Antonio River Authority, is planning to step down at the end of October to take over as the Nature Conservancy's state director in Texas, according to news releases. San Antonio's Rackspace Technology Incorporated announced Monday a second quarter net loss of $33 million in its first earnings report since going public on August 5th. With early voting just 40 days away and Election Day just over 60 days away, it's not too early to start thinking about voting strategies. Click the link in the episode's description to see how and when to cast your ballot. Renovations at Maverick Plaza include adding 3 restaurants, kiosks, and a demonstration kitchen, along with new parking and removing existing walls enclosing the plaza. Chef Johnny Hernandez's Grupo La Gloria is spearheading the restaurant aspect. City council members approved a 49-year lease with the group in 2017. The changes mean the public space in Maverick Plaza will be reduced by about 35%, from 27,300 square feet to 17,750 square feet. About 8.5% more square footage will be added along South Alamo Street. The public improvements portions of the project was recently presented to the Historic and Design Review Commission. You can read about their concerns and others in the latest from Madison Eisler at the link in the episode's description. Birria originated in Guadalajara, Mexico, and has a history that dates back more than 150 years. But it's one of the hottest restaurant trends in San Antonio and across the state, with birria photos dominating social media. It takes a while to make this Mexican stew, but the fork-tender meat makes great tacos, quesadillas, and more. In this week's edition of Chuck's Food Shack, he'll show you how to make beef birria tacos at home. In high school sports news, our picks for Express News Players of the Week in prep football and volleyball are at the link in the episode's description. Noted San Antonio bar developer Jarrett Peña and his business team, the Boulevardier Group, plan to open a new Hello Paradise in the former home of Shuck Shacks at 520 East Grayson Street. UTSA is set to host fans at up to 17% capacity for home football games at the Alamo Dome this year, according to a plan the Athletes Department announced on Monday. And that's all for today. My name is Luis Vasquez, and this was your Express Briefing. Please consider becoming an Express News subscriber to get in-depth coverage on all the stories you heard today. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast inside of your Apple Podcast app, as it really helps the show. Have a wonderful day, everyone.